So today we're going to be doing a little metal detecting at a ford on the river, and my microphone for my GoPro messed up, so it's going to be total voiceover in this video. 99% is underwater, so hold your breath. I hope you already started because you're under. Yeah, so I'm in a ford and I'm looking for, well, that's a big old Helgermite right there, also called a Dobson fly once they pupate into a large flying insect. There's a broken horseshoe. I'm going to find a bunch of those today. Very active ford, lots of horseshoes, lots of broken horseshoes because the horses are, of course, walking on the rocks. That's a big head to it, like a spike or something. I think a pretty old one, maybe colonial era. I've seen those in some very old sites before, but not sure. Can't say 100% how old it is. Just that it's hand forged. Another horseshoe. You can see the sand and the rocks. It's all cemented to it. That's because the iron slowly leaches out of the object and creates like a concretion. It attaches to like glue to the sand and the stones, and it forms a cocoon around the iron object. I can't actually hear what's going on in the video, so I'm not sure. And I actually kind of started editing this video a few days ago, so I don't remember what happened. What do we have? Ah, okay, yeah. Boy, I tell you, I thought that was a bullet when I first found it, but it's actually just a fishing weight. You see the hole in the bottom, and there's a tiny hole in the top that I could see once I got it up on land and really took a good peek at it. I just love being underwater like that. When it's clear and just wonderful. I see some lead. I see, okay, so a couple pieces of lead there. One of the first things I noticed was the monofilament line, the fishing line sticking out. You can tell that's kind of a modern thing. So those just kind of modern fishing weights. Yeah, it could be 50 years old, but to me that's really modern. Some old river mussel shells in there. Ooh, I see the bullet. All right, that's a mini ball, a Civil War mini ball, 58 caliber, dropped. You can see there's no sign of any rifling marks on it. Just a beautiful specimen right there. Obviously, I already got the hole started on this one. Dug so many horseshoes and pieces of junk, I kind of got lazy and didn't show every single time I dug the horseshoe. We'll see a few more of those. Now, ox shoes look somewhat similar, and a lot of people seem to think some of these things I'm finding are ox shoes, but they're not. They're just broken in half horseshoes. I'm quite familiar with ox shoes. They break them when they go across the rivers and they hit these rocks when they're hauling wagons and people and whatnot. The shoes will break. Another 58 caliber mini ball is kind of messed up. Could be fired, but I suspect that was dropped and probably run over by wagons and horse hooves. It will kind of mess them up when they're in fords. I've seen them where the sand is actually just like pushed down into the bullets and embedded in the bullets themselves because the lead's relatively soft. Double checking the hole, make sure there's nothing else in there. That's a spinner bait. That's a fishing lure. You can see the hook is rusted off of it, so it's been in the water for quite a while. They sound really good. Those little blades, the little spinner blades, are made out of copper, so they sound really decent. Nice hard flat bottom right there. Nothing's going to be deep. And this is a ford that's been metal detected for 30 years by lots and lots of people. So the shallow stuff on the rocks is pretty slim nowadays. You have to really get in the cobbles to find much. At least things that aren't iron. Like I said, I can't hear the background noise the machine's making, so I can't really comment on what's going on, what I'm hearing. Another horseshoe, heavily with heavy concretions. Ah, a bullet. Well, that one was right on the top. That should have been a pretty easy find for people, but it's a big river, a big ford, so things do get missed. They just snuggle down in those little crevices like that, and they don't move. That thing's been sitting there since it was dropped in the 1860s, I'm sure. Oh, a big chunk of iron. Do you know what that is? That's a sash weight. That goes inside of a window. Keeps for the great big windows on the homes, the antebellum homes. It's a counterweight. And a big chain that was in the river. That could be Civil War era. Could have been lost then or before. Could be more new as well. I'm not going to carry that out with me because I had quite a hike back to the boat, so I can only carry so much stuff. I did get most of the horseshoes, except for a few things that I lost, and you're going to see that in a minute, unfortunately. I just had a small bag on me and it was falling out. Oh, looky! That is a case shot to a Dyer artillery shell. Notice it's like a little bar of lead that's been clipped into a little slug. That's exactly what it is. You don't find those very often, and this site is one site that you can find them. Some people call them like shrapnel, but it's not actually shrapnel. It's inside to a cannonball. Fishing weight, modern, something I could have made in a mold at my house. It's a very green pistol bullet, I do believe, copper jacketed, I think 45 caliber, modern. Now that's a mule shoe right there, half a mule shoe. You can see that's a different shape. This was an interesting one because I could not find this thing. I worked on this thing for like an hour. And it's a little tiny thing down in that crack of those rocks. You wonder how it got there. And of course that's part of a pull tab. I just wonder how it gets wedged in like that. Oh yeah, got a nice little round ball there that was down deep in that crevice. Now I'm probably really only showing you about half or less of the targets that I'm digging as far as the junk targets. I don't want the video to be too awful long. This is almost 20 minutes as it is. Just imagine the centuries of people going over that ford, and of course it was just been a ford forever. Just a great place to go across the river. Looks like I'm in the same hole that I found that ball in. I must have another target. Always check, because a lot of times you'll find more than one bullet together, but it's just a fishing weight. But they sound like bullets because they're lead and they're about an ounce usually. Most mini balls are weigh an ounce, like the 58 caliber ones. They sound just like bullets. The sinkers. I think that's a piece of artillery shell that's exploded, although I'm not 100% because it's got that little casting flaw in there, but I think it's a top to an artillery shell, like a Dyer shell probably. Still not sure. I thought that was a little cannonball. Looks just like a little cannonball, doesn't it? Too small for a 6-pounder though, and they didn't really have grape shot or anything like that at this battle. Not sure I ever really figured out exactly what that thing was. Oh yeah, I think it's a top to like a big rivet or some type of spike, old spike. It's just the top part. I think the round shaft is broken off. Oh, that's pretty, isn't it? Fanning up and down like that's a good way to do it. You don't get your fingertips as worn. I think those gloves were actually in good shape when I first started that day. Another bullet. That's another 58 caliber mini ball. You can see the top is flattened, so it's probably fired. There was a battle at this ford as well as just a ford that was used throughout the war. But yeah, the gloves, the fingertips will wear out really quick. And those are cut-proof gloves. But they still wear out. when I get like that, I usually throw them away if I notice it before I get on the river. But you try to keep your fingers away from the sand and the rocks, because it's just like a very coarse sandpaper and it takes your skin right off. Not sure about that thing. It looks electrical to me. Never did quite figure that thing out. I think I've found that every time I've been there for the last 30 years. That's a little boat anchor someone made. Poured lead into a can and stuck a little copper wire in it. In fact, I took that with me this time. It's at the boat. Nice horseshoe. Beautiful. Complete one. And again, you can just picture the horses, hooves, and going across those rocks that you're seeing right there. So that's how they get broken and they get thrown very easily. And of course, sometimes the river's flooded and it could be very deep there and very treacherous. It just happens this is summer and it's very low right now, so it looks calm. You can see iron, you see it's black. So that is, I don't know. Oh, I think that's the end of a chain. There's a couple of links and then a flat piece on the end. So that's a chain. It's probably from one of the wagons that went across there, but you can't ever really know for sure because they still make them. That kind of chain. See the black there? That means that's iron. It's the oxidation in the iron. It's a rust. It was really stuck to the bottom, whatever it was. I think it was just parts of that chain. So got a signal there. Oh yeah, I think that's a pistol barrel right there. See the end of it, and it's wedged down in the rock. And I actually found a pistol cylinder there like 20 years ago. Still had like 4 shots left in it. But I think that could be the barrel to that pistol that I found. Weird how it gets wedged in there like that, isn't it? But hey, give me your opinion on this, because unfortunately, I lost it during the day when I was scrambling around out there, so it's still out in the river somewhere, so I couldn't really look at it on land. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Not 100%. Let me know what you think. I think it's right there. Oh, you can see it. Look, a little bit of lead colored showing, so that's a fishing weight for sure. Big old 1 ounce sinker. See the number 1 on it. That's how you can tell. What kind of treasure do you think we have there? Man, that stuff is hard on your fingertips. That sand. Ah, it's a bullet. And notice how the back of the bullet, the skirt, has actually been blown in half. Very poorly made, and when that was fired, it would not have been accurate at all. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little video. Boy, I had a blast out there. I was underwater the entire day. We have a ton of horseshoes, some whole ones, a lot of broken ones. And we actually did find a few bullets, which is nice. I did want to show you a couple things here real quick. This thing here that looks like a slug of lead, like a lead bar that someone nipped off. Well, that's exactly what it is. This is a little lead bar that they nip off to the sides, and they look at my hands. Those are just normal hands, though, from being in the water all day. And they put these inside of Dyer shells, artillery shells. It's called case shot. Instead of using round balls, they use these things. You'll actually find a lot of these at this site and almost nowhere else. It's a cool little bullet right there.
yeah, so we've got a few bullets and a few other things, some odds and ends. I actually found, hopefully I got a scene of it, of a little, I think it's a pistol barrel that I must have fallen out of my bag when I was crawling around on the rocks down there, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to go back there and look for that another day. But hopefully, like I said, it's in the video, so you get to see it anyway. All right, I'm going to jump in the boat. It's a beautiful evening to be on the river. But I think by the time I get up to the boat ramp and get everything loaded up and get home, it's going to be almost dark. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you on the next one, I hope.